Faith isn't about having all the answers or avoiding pain. It's about trusting in the one who carries you through it all. Join us today as we go through a story of a woman whose world was completely shattered and how God provided hope in it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Shieldmaidens podcast. This is the place where we hope you'll come to be raised up to be a warrior for Christ while also learning how to fight back against the enemy. And the whole time we really just want to point you to Jesus. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Riley.
Thank you for being here today and listening in on another Tuesday. We're really grateful that you're here. Before we get started on our story today, I'm going to remind you once again, please, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. That is super helpful for us. We'd love to see your comments or feedback. Share it with anyone that you think it would be helpful to. Like, that would be great. If you're listening on the audio versions, we'd love a review there. And also, if you haven't seen it yet, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of the podcast. Yeah, whoop, whoop. Wow. And we have a really fun event planned. We're going to do a live podcast episode with a really special guest on November 2nd here in Evansville. So all the details, if you haven't seen it yet on social media, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and or TikTok. So we will have information there, but also we'll have it in the description below.
Yep. Check right below us, the description.
For ticketing, and because it is a ticketed event, and there are limited seats. So
we want you there.
We want you there. So check that out if you haven't yet. We're really excited, and we know that it'll be really fun. Yes. And it'll be a great time for men and women. So if you're a guy, don't discount that yet. It'll be good for you.
Our speaker is a guy.
Yes.
It has a really cool story.
Yes. So it'll be awesome. Yep. Yeah. So check that out if you haven't. But we have a beautiful guest with us today. We have our friend Courtney here with us just to share her story today. We've been talking about some things that are harder and heavier. And we know that's part of Courtney's story. So if you want, Courtney, thank you for being here, first of all. Thanks for coming to talk with us. We're really glad that you are here. I'll let you introduce yourself first, and then we can
Who are
go
you?
ahead. Who are you? Tell us about your family.
Yeah, so my name is Kourtney Hacker. I've moved into Evansville area around 2019.
Okay.
So didn't know a whole lot of people, but my late husband, Hassan Hacker, that passed away, we thought we'd start our life here. So my 3 boys, Kendrick, he's 12. Kyrie's 10, and Caden is now 4.
Oh, he's 4.
He's 4. He'll be 5 next month.
Okay.
So they're all growing so
whole
fast.
Yes.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
They're all 3 in different schools this year, so that
makes it really fun.
Yeah. So I stay busy, but they fulfill me, and
awesome.
That's what I'm doing. So.
Well, and I met you. So your middle son, Kyrie, who is literally the sweetest. He is the sweetest kid. He really is. I don't know what it is about him. He is the sweetest little boy. But actually, all 3 they were in the same kindergarten class. Did you know her older daughter was in the same kindergarten class?
Oh. Yep.
So my youngest son, Bennett, is buddies with Kyrie. And then your older son is the same age as my daughter. I don't think they interact because they're boy and girl,
thing,
but
right now.
At least not right now. Yeah.
Probably not too far away.
Yeah, I'm probably not too far away.
Scary.
But I kind of met you through the school and through the kids, and
and that's what I've really loved about this community is all of my kids is their friends and their parents, they have all really came in and supported us and been just so sweet that I'm okay. This is so nice.
Because you're not from Evansville.
I'm not from Evansville.
Yeah, okay, that's what I
I'm not very far away. I grew up in Vincennes, Indiana.
Okay.
But even an hour away from any help is a lot.
Makes a difference.
It's I can't call my Nana and be like, hey, can you watch him in the morning before school? It's kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, when you're an hour, and there's a time difference there, and that makes a difference too.
Yeah, so.
Well, good. Well, we're glad that you're here in Evansville, and
thank you.
Glad I, gotten to meet you through that and your sweet kiddos. And like I said, especially Kyrie. He's the one I've been around the most, but he's just, I don't know what it is. He's precious. So
Yeah, I think every person has said that to me.
He
and they're
really
like,
is.
"What did you do?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because my other two are like the total opposite.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, at least I got like one right?
You have a really sweet one in there. I'm sure the others are too, but
Oh yeah, they have their moments, but I'm like, just Kyrie, I don't think I've ever had to really get onto him even, because he just is like,
Yeah.
I know. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful for you. Like
Yeah.
you were so great. And then, my other ones are
he's
like,
a sweetie.
well, what about me? And I'm like,
And
well, maybe
they're
we should-
all really cute
Yeah.
too. They are. They're just handsome little guys.
They are.
So,
I'm very blessed with them. So.
yeah, they're sweet. Well, we you mentioned it that you have a late husband, Asan,
Yes,
right?
Asan.
And there's been really hard, difficult things that have happened in your life in the last few years. So
For sure.
we just wanted to invite you on to share your story, whatever you want to share. You can start wherever. You can start if you have things that you feel like are pertinent to maybe your walk with God and your childhood. You can start there,
Yeah.
or start
for
wherever
sure.
you want. So
Yeah. So let's see. When I first started going to church, even I was in like middle school, and my papaw took us.
Aw.
Like I didn't really have a good upbringing, so like I have 4 sisters, and we never lived together.
none
Oh,
of you.
my.
None of us. We all were like separated, but we were all close enough to be able to see each other.
Okay.
But my papaw was always like, I want to pick all these girls up, and we're going to church every Sunday. And then he would take us to Gaddy.
Gaddy
Mr.
Town,
Gaddy's.
yeah.
Mr. Gaddy's.
When it was
in
Mr.
Vincent's.
Gaddy's?
Yeah.
Aw.
And that was like one of the highlights with him. Loved it. Or he would get us up super early for McDonald's, and we would meet with all his guys, because there was like an older crew that went to McDonald's in the mornings. It was
Sweet.
hilarious. But I loved it. And so like I did love going to church. And then when he passed away, we had his funeral at a church, and I never went to another one since. Because like there was just no one keeping us grounded in there. So like I always knew about God, obviously. So like I was just like always in the back of my mind, like, when am I going to go back to church? But then I just didn't have that opportunity or anyone to take me. So that kind of just kind of flooded away, unfortunately. And I went through a lot in high school, like still lived with friends and, did all those things. I got a job when I was 16. So like I was just always busy, so I was like, that was never part of my life. And it hadn't been. I went to college, I met Asan, and I was so thankful for that. Like I found ways to like make a difference, because my life just wasn't, what I hoped for it to be. And I always just had goals. I'm like, I got to get to this next level, I'm going to get there. And then Asan and I got together, we started having children, and then we were kind of like, we should probably get married. We're not doing this right, like we're doing a little backwards. So we didn't officially get married till 2017.
Okay.
And
didn't realize
we
that.
had 2 boys at the time already. We were always just like, we're practically married anyways, it's fine.
Right. Right.
But so we went ahead and did that. And then I got my nursing degree. And I was just like, things are going really well. And then for some reason, I always was just like, Asan, we should go to church. I feel like we have our lives together, that's something we can start doing. And I don't even know why that ever crossed my mind, because it went years and we never even spoke about it. I really didn't even know his religious background or anything. It's just, like we connected and it was great. So he's like, yeah, sure. And he was just always go with the flow type of guy. So I'm like, I'm going to make it happen, and then of course his job wasn't the best. He worked as a coal miner for a really long time. So the swing shift was
that's a
2 weeks
hard life.
days, 2 weeks nights. And then I'm like, the only day I could work a good 12-hour nursing shift was on Sundays. So then I was always like, maybe one day we'll get there.
Yeah.
And so it was just like always in the back of my mind, like maybe I'll get there one day, So then life just keeps moving on, and I'm just like, okay, well, that never happened with Asan and I. We never made it to a church. So when he passed, it was March of 23, and it was very unexpected. And I literally, my whole world stopped, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And
you had moved here away
I
from
had
your
moved
family,
here.
right?
Yeah.
You don't
I'm
have
away
family.
from everyone, and of course people came to be with me, in that moment. But like, I remember seeing him at the hospital because it was a critical situation, and he he was taken to the hospital, and I didn't really get to see him in a state of, hey, I'm here, like, I'll get you through this type stuff. So that was hard. And they kept saying, you know, like, who can we call to help you? Because you're alone right now. Like, you need somebody. And I'm like, literally, that's my person. Like, I don't have anyone else. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I just kept thinking, like, what am I going to do if he passes? So, you know, that's all running in the back of my mind. And I'm just sitting there, like, I actually did call my sister. She lived in Vincennes. One lived in Florida. So I had her, like, distraught all the way in Florida. Katie, you know, she's driving an hour trying to get to me. And by that time, he had already passed. But it was, I call her, she was my saving grace, my friend Jess. She goes to my church. She actually is the one that got me to the church. But somehow she found her way to me and was in the room when he passed.
Wow.
And I just remember feeling her touch my shoulder, and I'm like, I don't know what it was. I just felt like some type of relief. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have someone here, you know? And I was like, thank you so much, Jess. Like, that meant the world to me, you know? So, like, all those emotions go by, and, you know, I'm just like, what do I do? Like, literally, what do I do? And then my house is flooded with people. I just felt like
3 young boys.
3 young boys. You know, I go home and I have to tell them their dad's no longer here. And I was just like, I've always had a plan, you know, like, I've always, like, strived for something. So then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And, you know, it's sad because, like, finances is one of the first things that popped in my head. I'm like, how am I going to survive? Like, he was our main income. I was actually completing nursing school when he passed. I had 8 weeks left. So I'm like, I'm not even working full time. I've been dedicated to school. And I'm like, so I'm like over here like, oh my gosh, this is too much. So, you know, there was a couple days and nights I wasn't sleeping. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, I think I need to talk to God. And it was just like the weirdest thing, because I can't even tell you what night it was, maybe 3 or 4 nights in. And I'm just sitting alone in my room, and I'm like, God, what do I do? And I've never asked him that. I've never thanked him for anything. You know, I've never got to that state where I've reached out to, you know, for him. And I just knew in that moment, he was like, you're going to be okay. And it was the most wild, humbling experience I ever had. So I'm like, okay, I got this, you know, like, I will be okay. And then just, like, things kept happening in my life that I was like, oh my gosh, like, people are here to help me. Like, you know, like, obviously finances is hard. Someone set, like, a GoFundMe page. And I
remember that.
Oh my gosh. I just felt like, is this real? Like, are people really that kind to want to help me, you know? So I was like, all right, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to live for 6 months with this money. I'm thinking, I'm like, I got this. Because, you know, my sweet little Kyrie, he was like, Mom, how are you going to go to work? Dad always watched us. We always did opposite shifts, so I never had to worry. They were always at home. So I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I got 6 months to figure this out. And I just knew, like, after I reached out to God, I was like, I know he's going to find a way to get me through it. And I just stuck with that. And it was just weird, because I was just, that just wasn't me, you know? I was just like, who am I asking some person for help, you know? Like, and I didn't get any clear answers, but I just felt like a relief through my body. Like, I'm going to be okay. I don't know how, because, you know, I woke up every day and I'm like, my husband's gone every day for, like, so many months. And then, and I'm not even sure if Jess, like, approached me with church. She might have, like, mentioned it, you know, because that's kind of how she is, which I love. But one day I was like, I'm going to go to church with you. And she's like, really? And, like, she got so excited. And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm so nervous about this, but let's do it. Like, I just was feeling it, you know. It was a couple weeks after the funeral. And I couldn't even believe I like wanted to be involved in something like that at the moment.
Yeah.
I never had anxiety and all of those things until after his passing. Like even after like all my children and stuff. My third one gave me a run for my money. Not gonna lie, he's a little wild, but
That's a third child for you.
it is because the other two didn't do that for me. But so I'm like, okay, Jess, we're all gonna go to church. Meaning my boys have never been to church. I have never even really spoken to my boys about God, you know. And I'm just like, is this gonna be too much? Are we gonna be able to handle this, you know? And I'm like, well, Jess has boys my kids' age. So I'm like, that'll help them kind of get through it. So I'm like, I got to go with someone because there's no way I'm going alone. And so Jess was like, hey, let's go to church this Sunday. And we were all available. So I'm like, okay, let's go. As soon as I walk in there, I'm hearing the music. I'm enjoying it. And then I'm crying the whole time too, obviously, because like it was just emotional.
Yeah.
And we sit down for service. And he literally talks about pain. And I'm like...
The first time you step foot in a service.
First time.
I feel like he was looking right at you.
I swear, I'm like, is this for me? Like, this is like... I was like, oh my gosh. So I cried through the whole service. No. But it was like so touching that I was just like, I couldn't control myself. And I usually am not that way. I'm always like, keep it together. You got this, you know? And... afterwards, you know, Jess is like, we can go down there and have someone pray for you. And I'm like, I would actually really like that. Like, I haven't actually had anyone pray for me during this. I just randomly reached out to him and was like, please help me through this, you know?
Right.
And sometimes it feels awkward because I'm like, I don't even know what to say to him. But I'm just like, this is my struggle right now. And then I'm thanking him later because I'm like, oh, I actually got through that, you know? So I got through that church service, which... it was great, but it was really hard.
I can only imagine.
It was so emotional. And so I was like, oh, should I go back? I was like, my nerves were shot, but I did feel better. So then that was actually the time when the Hills was not at the building they're currently at. So I was like, okay, maybe I should just give it a little more time. Like, I don't know if I was quite ready for that. That was a lot to take in. And so I waited a little while and, you know, like no one hounded me on it or anything, you know. So then the church, you know, moved over to the new building. And I was like, maybe this will be a good time to go. It'll be a fresh start for us. And we get there and I don't even remember how early we got, but they were just playing like soft music before. And I played a song, Stand By Me, at Hassan's funeral. It just felt fitting to me. And I was just like, you know, like no matter what, he's going to be there regardless of, you know, like the situation. And that song was playing when I walked into the service. And I'm like, are they like telling me like I should be here? And so then like, I'm like crying and everyone's like, are you okay? And I was like, there's like a backstory to that. But like right now, like I'm in the moment. So like, yeah, I'm just going to feel it. And ever since that day, I'm like, I belong here. And I don't like really stand out. Like I was saying before, like I love going to church, but I'm like in there, I'm in the moment and then I get out.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, it is kind of still overwhelming to me cause I'm still learning how to grow my connection with God and like my purpose now. Cause I'm like, I don't know what's gotten into me sometimes, but I'm just like, I have this purpose and I need to handle it. And I'm like, I don't even know where to begin at times. So it's overwhelming. So then I'm just like, okay, maybe I need to do something else to keep me busy. Cause like, I don't like, it's overpowering sometimes. And I just know that like when I do go to church, it brings this energy out of me that I'm like, okay, it's going to get me through this week. And then, you know, I'm like, gosh, it's almost time for church again because I'm feeling like a lot. So I was always like really determined to get in there a lot, like especially the first year when I started going and I had that moment. I'm like, yeah, I'm meant to be here. So like that brought me a lot of joy in those moments, you know, so it really did help me get through. And my boys like never complained. And, you know, that's
good.
You know, and I was just like, this is something new. I'm putting them all in separate rooms.
Right.
But they enjoyed it and they really was like, when are we going to go to church? And now like anytime we drive past the Hills, Caden's always like, Mom, that's our church.
Oh.
And I just love it. And like even Kyrie just got a Bible not too long ago, and he's like, I'm gonna bring this to church. I'm like, you do that, buddy. I'm like, please do. And like Kendrick, he's more like,
Yeah, he's almost a teenager too.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
12,
yeah.
so he's just like so grown, like acting. But he even was like, Mom, I'll take a Bible, but I'm not gonna bring it.
I'll take it,
Like,
but I'm not going to bring
I'm like,
it.
you know what? That's fine. Read it in your room. That's totally okay. And so he's like, okay. So like just seeing them transition into like all of that is really just so like humbling, and it just makes me like, okay, I'm doing something right.
You're doing it right.
You know, and I'm like, I'm still like trying to find my path by like growing closer to him and trying to figure out like, what am I going to do next? But it's like, I'm slowly figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I have enjoyed it. Like I did a rooted program with, the Hills, and I was so nervous because it was me alone going in there and having to meet all these strangers at the table. And, but we were all there for the same reason. And it ended up being like a huge blessing as well, because we all helped each other through situations. And that short period of time we got to know each other.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful for all that. And I've met, some other widows. I got one of my good friends now. She lost her husband, and I told her about the Hills, and we go there, and she started going, and she's like, thank you so much. I'm like, I think God placed you in my path to tell you need to be there, because she's not from around here either. And it was so wild because I was going to the Easter egg hunt. I think it was 2 years ago, and I forgot the kids' baskets on the way there, and I'm like, no. So like I'm panicking, and I'm like, okay, there's a CVS not too far down from the street from the church, and I'm like, I'm gonna go in there, and grab whatever baskets I can find. Hopefully they have some, even just sacks. I don't even know.
Right.
And there she was with her kids, and I'm like, hey. Like, what are you guys up to? And I told her where we were going, and she's like, I've really been looking for a church.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? I was like, you should go. I was like, you can sit with me. Like, I just have random friends I go with and sit with. A lot of times it's Jess. And now that my sister lives here in Evansville right now, she goes with me. I've got her going to church.
Awesome.
Look at that.
Little side note there, which makes me really excited.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, she was like, I'm going to give it a try. And so Easter Sunday was her first last year. And then this year she was singing in the choir at church. And I'm like, I literally cried the whole service because I was so proud of her up there. And I'm like, like
that's
just
so awesome.
seeing those moments. I'm just like, I think that's what I meant to do. Like I've always been a strong person, like my whole life, because I felt like I've had to be. But I'm like, now what do I do with it? Like I have a story, and I have like this big thing that could have broke me and, like changed my path a whole nother way. But I'm like, God saved me. It was like, no, this is not you. You need to go this route. And for me to like just actually reach out to him in the first place was just huge, because I was just like, this is so weird, but I just felt like that's who I need to speak to in that moment. And it really it changed everything for me. And people will even ask me like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't really know at times.
Right?
Yeah. I'm like, I really don't. But I was like, anytime I would feel super overwhelmed or like had a bunch of anxiety, like I would just be like, okay, I need to calm down, and I need to be like, help me through this, and that's like just what I did. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm okay. Like, because I hated, like, for the first few months, I felt like I was like just in the motion of just getting through. And I'm like, I wasn't being a good mom. I was, they seemed okay. Yeah. But, it's like I would get them to school and I'd just sit at home all day, and I didn't want that to be my life. Yeah. And I was scared that was going to, take over. So I was just like, I have to do something. And then even like after a few months of me going to church and feeling better, I just felt like there was still something missing. So then I got into fitness, and, I was taking care of myself better. And I just felt even like like, okay, this is what my path I'm supposed to go on. And I've met a lot of great people along the way. And I'm like, I think you were meant to be in my life to help me through it in different seasons. And I'm just so thankful that this is the path I'm on. Like, and I'm still trying to figure it out, you know, like,
Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
are.
you know?
Yes. Yeah.
I
You're
had-
not alone in that.
yeah. Like I was always so like, okay, this is our 5-year plan. And now I'm like, okay, we're living day to day at this point, you know, but which is fine. But sometimes I get ahead of myself and I'm like, what am I really doing with my life?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But-
really easy to do. Like for most people, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just very thankful that I've gotten through it. I still live through it every day. You know,
Yeah.
it's like there's triggers, you know, like I wish their dad was here for this, or I wish he could have been here for that, you know, because like they're trying all new things. And I'm like, I hate that you're missing out. But then it's like, he shows me reminders like, well, he's still here. He's still seeing these things, but just in a different light. Yeah. So that song that I said that came on at church, anytime I take the boys to a new place, like I took him to Legoland for the first time without us on. And that was like our place to go for summer. And I'm like, can I do this? Like, am I capable of doing this? Like my boys were excited, but me deep down, I was like crumbling, you know, I was like, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
And then the boys were just like, look, we used to do this with dad here. And like, they were so happy. So I'm like, I gotta be happy. You know, I can't let my anxiety bring them down because they are enjoying it. And then at the end of the day, we get in the pool and then there goes that song again. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, like,
Wow.
what do we call these little moments? Are you like messing with me up there? So I just count those as blessings,
Yeah.
you know, and I am like, all right, he's showing me that he's supporting us, just not the way I expected him to be, you know, like I thought I was going to live forever with him and, you know, raise our children here. And, you know, life took a different path for me. So I'm just trying to figure it out.
Well, you're doing an amazing job. Like, I mean, it hasn't been that long either.
Yeah.
And I mean, really in the grand scheme of things, like you said, I'm sure it's a day by day, like every single day, you know, you have to trust God to get you through it.
Yeah.
And ask God to get you through it. And certain things get easier with grief, you know, over time, but it just changes probably.
Yeah.
I just really loved the moment that you finally cried out to God.
Me too.
And he just chose to sit with you. Like comfort was how
Yeah.
he came. It wasn't condemnation like, look, there's some things we need to work on. Courtney.
Yeah.
It was, no, you're my daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you called my name.
Yeah. And it was just as easy as that, you know, like I felt like I needed to go someone and get that physical touch of like, you're going to be okay. But I didn't. And that was weird for me because I'm usually that type that need that. So I was just like, whenever I just felt it, I was like, okay, I'm so glad I called out to you because I literally didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm always the strong one. They always say I'm the mom of the sisters.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the go-to person. I help
Yeah.
everyone. You know,
Yeah.
that's just my nature. I'm a
Yeah.
nurse. Like,
Yeah. That's who you are.
that's my
Yeah.
calling in a way, you know? So I'm like, gosh, like who's going to help me now? You know, like I had no options. And then I was like, you know what? We have a God, a father that's going to like provide for me in ways that I have never had. And I never had a father growing up really, you know, either. So I'm like, I don't even know what that looks like. But it was just, I don't know what came over me that night. I mean, it was probably him just like, can you please something? I'm not even totally sure. Like, but that's what I tell everyone. I'm like, I literally just, you know, like searched for God and like, I wanted my faith to be stronger because, you know, I was fearful that I was going to lose everything or not be okay. Like, you don't expect your person to just leave.
Right. And you're so young.
Unexpected and so
like,
young. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 32 at the time.
Yeah.
He just turned 33. And I'm
Babies. I mean,
like,
really,
yeah.
you know,
I'm like, this isn't supposed to happen to us,
Right.
you know?
right.
And, you know, like people are there for you, you know, in those moments, but that it's like, okay, well, they have to get back to their lives.
Of course.
And then I'm just stuck still living in my grief. And I had to tell myself every day my husband was gone and relive that moment. And I didn't want to burden anybody with it. But then again, I'm like, who else was I going to like speak to about it? So I was like, okay, God, here I am again. Like, can you help me?
It's me again.
Yeah. And I felt like that's what it was. And now I like, instead of just always asking him for help, I always see myself like thanking him in moments now. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much for like all you've done for me. And like, it's weird in a way. Cause I'm still like
because it's new still.
It's still new. And I'm like so scared to like fully give in. Cause I'm like, gosh, what is he going to like put me through? Like, am I going to be able to handle all this right now? Cause sometimes it is overwhelming. Like I can tell my story sometimes. And then sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I'm ready.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of support and I've met other widows, and I'm thankful for those foundations that have reached out and want to help, you know, like law enforcement, surviving families, and show that support. Because I think that also did help me, because I'm like, okay, they can share their story. Why can't I? You know?
Yeah.
And that's been a blessing too, because like my boys have also got to connect with other children that have lost a father, you know, or a mother in law enforcement, and just talk about it and not even have to talk to their parents, you know, like they just have their moments. I'm always proud that they do speak to me about it, you know, like I've always been an open book with it, you know, we'll cry together, we'll be angry together. And because like my oldest, he was so angry at first and I was so scared. I'm like, what am I going to do to help him?
Yeah.
You know,
especially a boy. I feel like
boy, yeah. He's so mad that his dad's no longer here, and all these dads are in the picture everywhere else we're at. And he's like, he was just so angry. And I'm like, oh, how do I get him out of this? What do I do? You know, like, so I was lifted up by them too. Cause I'm like, I have to help them through it. And it did work. It took a while, but Kendrick was just, he's so more like sheltered with his thoughts that he would just get angry instead of want to speak it, which is fair, you know? He's been through a lot. And one time he came home, he's like, I was so mad. Someone was talking about their dad, and I couldn't, you know, say anything about mine. And I'm like, buddy, you always are welcome to say something. But I was like, but just remember that when people talk about their husbands, sometimes I'm like, like a little jealous over here. Like, you know, like I wish my husband was here. And I feel like I've lightened that in people's lives as well. Cause there's been people come to me and be like, you know, I get ungrateful sometimes. And then I see you and you're always smiling. And you're always so happy. Like, how? And I'm like, I don't know. Jesus. I just, And then I'm like, I just like literally gave it to God, and he's going to help me through this. Like, I know he has a purpose and all of it. And maybe it is just that, you know, like people should be more thankful and, you know, appreciative. Like, yeah, your husband might be gone working, but at least he's still here. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, what I would do to have mine here, you know, like, so just, if that's even the light of it, then that's okay too, you know, because then I'll have like some friends that'll be, you know, complaining about their husbands. And I'm like, listen, I'm happy you come to me, but he's here. Like, be thankful for that, you know? And that's just...
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I say, I bet like there's so many layers there that I feel like God's going to, and already is using you in that, like to remind the friends of, let's be grateful for what we have. Yeah. And your kids can also do that with other kids, and being able to have that community with other widows who have been through very similar, hard, horrible things. And then bringing people to God. Like you didn't set out to do that. No. Like it was a natural occurrence because of what happened in your life. Yeah. You know?
For sure.
So. Well, she found the source.
Yeah.
She found the source of love. She found the source of comfort. The thing that will help her through. And so no matter what anybody's going through, they don't have to have lost their husband. Yeah. No matter what, you can take them to the answer.
That's right.
Because he doesn't fail.
Yeah. And it's so crazy too, because we did have a pretty bad tragedy in Vincennes. One of my sister's friends, the domestic violence accident happened, and someone reached out to my sister, and they got to talking, and she's like, how did your sister get through something like that? And she's like, honestly, she just told me she was going to church and and praying all the time. And she's like, and it seemed to work because like I've seen a big shift in her, and like I even go to church now with her. She's like, you should come to church with us. And she just recently moved to Evansville, so I'm hoping.
So even through your sister,
and like because like me and my sister, none of us went to church after my papa passed. So like I just love that my sister goes with me now, and it's comforting knowing that we can also like, hey, come join us.
you can bring other people along.
Beautiful ripple effect.
Yeah, and it's just a natural, not consequence, a natural occurrence of what you've been through and how you've encountered God. You know, you've got community around you that you're seeing other widows and bringing them in, and you're able to share your story. Like we talked a little bit about your kids being able to share with other kids or not be alone there, and then the people that you've already impacted and sort of brought closer to God, they're now going out and bringing more people in. It really is a ripple effect, and it's beautiful to see, and God will continue to use that as part of your purpose of what you've been through. You know?
And it really does like bring joy to see that. And like, I'm just not used to playing this role, I guess. But like, I'm finding my peace in it because I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I find joy in it. It brings me purpose, you know, and I still have pain from my situation, but it's like, okay, how can I use this to help someone else get through it? And just even speaking to other people about, you know, they look at me and they're like, you're just so happy and smiling all the time. And I'm like, I'm not sure how some days, but some days I'm just like, yeah, I just am thankful for what I do have, and I pray about it. And that's what's really just kind of helped me through. And I just have enjoyed my path so far. So
yeah. Well, and as you get closer and closer to God, like He'll lead you to the people that you need to be to, and He'll give you the words to say. Did we talk about the nurse story, the nurse that you worked with? Do you want to share that story? Yeah. I can't remember if this was on camera or off camera earlier, but you had a story about another nurse that you worked with too.
Yeah.
That you was kind of put in your line, and I just feel like that's so impactful because God will bring people to you.
Yeah.
And then we just have to be obedient, even though it's uncomfortable. Like
for sure.
Yeah.
So at the nursing facility I work at, I try to work nights, you know, try to avoid the day shift because there's so many people that know my situation. And it can get overwhelming sometimes because they don't see me. And the first time they saw me, I didn't work for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So they were just like, oh my gosh, you're doing good. You're doing okay. And that gets overwhelming. I'm like, I just want to work.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. But so I started working night shift, and there was a new nurse. She worked through an agency, never seen her before. So she seemed a little overwhelmed, you know, like being in a new facility, you just never know.
Yeah.
Where anything is,
how
they do
people
things.
work. Yeah.
So I'm just always that nurse that always am like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Or if you have any questions of, you know, where stuff is, just come find me. I'll help you. And well, she didn't, but you know, that's common. You're like, oh, I'm fine. I'll get through it.
Right.
And so I just went over there, checked again, because I finished my assignment and she was still going, but she was like, I'm okay. So she got through it. We were sitting down at the nurse's station, and she just was like, she kind of opened up a little bit and was like, this is my first day back since I lost my son a year ago. Yeah. And I was just like, I am so sorry to hear that. And I was like, how did you get through it? And she's like, I didn't. She's like, I lost my house. I lost my career. I let my license go. So like, she was really drowning in it, and I really felt for her. And we just spoke a little bit, and I was like, do you mind if I share my story? And when I told her about my situation, she's like, I would have never known you ever went through anything. How did you manage? You know? So I was just like, I just prayed about it. That's the only thing I knew to do. And that was my only option. And she was just so grateful that I spoke to her about it and let her have her side and told her mine. And then I never saw her again, you know? So I was just like, I was so thankful that I was put in that moment to be with her and even just tell her, like, we only got to speak for maybe 30 minutes or so because, like, it's so crazy in the nursing world. But that 30 minutes was, like, all I needed just to, like, give her some faith and, like, hope, like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it, you know? And our situation was different. Like, that was her son. And he was my husband. I don't know how those, I mean, they're both traumatic. They're both
Definitely.
devastating. You know, you never want either one of those to happen to yourself. And so I relate to all of that even more so now than I ever did. And I'm just happy that I'm able to share my story in those situations because I'm not always the one to, you know, speak first about it. But if someone comes to me with their trouble, then I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to help you.
I think it's beautiful that you're doing that, and even though it's uncomfortable, and unfortunately, God asks us to do uncomfortable things sometimes.
He's good at that.
But again, we've said this, like your pain, you can let God use that for purpose to help other people and bring them closer to Him, because ultimately that's really what we want anyway, is for other people to find God and be in a relationship with Him.
Yeah.
Because like you said, He's the source.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And you had mentioned earlier that you might be a little bit worried about surrendering it all, because what could He ask me to do? Well, I totally get that. There's a phrase that floats around in church culture that says He will never bring you to something you can't handle. That is hogwash. He will absolutely do that. But He plans to meet you there, just like He met you in that bedroom that night. He's like, no, you're right. You can't do this, but I can. So let me help you. So if you would, maybe just go to church a little earlier instead of hiding or stay around 10 minutes longer.
For sure.
He could bring more people like that nurse across your path. And, you know, you mentioned that she said that she would never know that you had just lost your husband. That's because when God heals, He doesn't leave scars.
Yeah.
Our trauma does. For sure.
Yeah.
And it's not that we forget these things ever happened to us, but He uses them for a purpose to bring His glory.
Yeah.
And so He's going to strengthen you and strengthen your gifts even more as you walk more and more in His direction.
That is so true. Because, like, there will be people like, you are just shining. You're just glowing. And I'm like, I think it's just because I have a good tan right now. They're like, no, there's just something different about you. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just so more at peace. Like, obviously, I miss him so much, and I could let myself spiral every day. You know, I could let go of that and just be sad that my situation happened even 2 years later. But it's like, I have a greater purpose in life than that, and I just feel it. And yes, I am a little scared to really jump all in with
It's
it.
okay to be scared. It's okay to be
He doesn't
scared.
give you the whole manual.
Yeah,
No.
thankfully.
Yeah, definitely not. So, like, I'm finding my ways to connect closer with Him, and that's brought me a lot of comfort. And so I'm like, all right, I might be alone, but I'm not truly alone.
Not alone.
You know?
Yeah.
And that is enough for me too. I'm like, you know, I have God and I have my kids, and I feel fulfilled.
Yep.
And that's wild to me because I'm like, I feel like I need a partner to be complete, you know, and be fulfilled with everything in life. But I'm like, no, I don't think this is like what I'm meant to do at this moment, you know?
Maybe
like,
not right now.
Yeah. Like maybe one day it'd be great because
everyone needs some help.
Yeah, everyone needs help. And my
Right.
kids are going to grow up one day and not need
Yeah.
me as much. So I'm gonna be like, oh, which that's another sad topic.
Right.
We're not going to go there.
We won't touch on
but yeah. But, you know, like right now, I just feel like that's my purpose and I'm trying to find my way because, like, I do have a lot of pain in my story and I don't want it to, like, just go to waste. And
He wastes nothing.
yeah.
It's true.
He wastes nothing. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. It's beautiful, even though it's hard. And, you know, we know it's not easy to come publicly share either and know that, you know, people will know parts of, and a lot of, like you said, a lot of people know, but there will be people you don't know that this will reach.
For sure.
And it will help them. Even just to see your response.
I think that's the most important part. They don't need to know all the details of everything.
Yeah.
But how you respond
Yeah.
to and what God has done through you, because clearly people are seeing a difference in you, in how you live, and just the glow that you have. That you mentioned, people, you've said it a couple of times that people have noticed it on you.
Yeah.
And when God's with you, like, people can tell.
Yeah, I agree. And it is just comforting, because like even people saying those things to me, I'm like, oh, that's so nice of you. Like,
There's something in this.
Yeah, you know, like, I appreciate that. Or like, you're so inspiring. And I'm like, am I? Like, I'm just like getting through. But I love sharing how I do get through on a daily basis, you know, and if it does help somebody, you know, like struggling in any type of form, you know, like, we all do go through tough times, and like, I just want to help them all if I can. And even just posting a picture of me smiling on social media, people are just like, oh, thank you. Like, I appreciate seeing your smiling face today. You know, like, that means a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're doing what you're doing with what you have, with what the situation that you've been given.
Yeah.
God's doing beautiful things through you. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to close this with an encouragement from the word today.
Okay. I love it.
So in Revelation chapter 21, can't read, verse 4, it says, he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore, for the former things have passed away. So if you are going through anything like this, or know somebody, or just having a hard time, hold on to that hope, because he is faithful and he keeps his promises. Until next time, grab a shield. We'll see you out there.
See you guys.